Hey everybody, welcome to another Motivational Monday. Today's message is titled, Pulled Back and Ready to Snap. And you guys know my word for the year is push. So this is just a little bit on the opposite end of push because we're pulled back. And I say that because in this season, and I'm sure many of you just like me, or maybe hopefully you're doing a little bit better in this season, but I have been very stressed. There has been a lot of pressure on me. There's a lot through work, through family, through a pandemic, just trying to move and trying to maneuver all of this with everything going on. And I feel like I have been pulled very thin. And thinking about that, I've been doing a lot of praying, a lot of crying, a lot of reading the Bible, a lot of meditation, more crying, journaling, and all of that. And the Lord spoke to me and kind of just gave me a little bit of comfort. And it's like, don't get discouraged because this is for a reason. And I've heard that many times before. The message at church was just the same Sunday, that what you're going through is not for no reason. Even to the point that you're in this place for a reason, and not to let this season, this place that you're in, go to waste because of just thinking about all the pressure that's on you. But I will say one thing, it has provoked some good things out of me. And even though it's been stressful, it's been strained, I've been able to look at some of those good things and say, okay, Lord, now I get why I had so much pressure on me. Because at one point of this, I was like, okay, you know what, Lord, I want this, I'm asking for this, I'm hoping for this, praying for this, making moves for this. And then it's like, okay, Lord, if this is the pressure that's going to be put on me to get that, I don't want it. I quit. Like, I don't want it. It's too much pressure. This is too much. Like the memes, this too much. Like, this literally is too much for me. And the weight of it got to be a lot on me, to the point where I'm like, I give up. Whatever it is that you have for me, it's too much. And then I had to stop and like really process this. And a message that I heard probably about a year or two ago just kind of resonated with me. Being buried and being planted a lot of times look like the same thing. And that just kept coming up for me. It looks the same. You dig a hole in the dirt, you put it in there, and you put dirt on top of it. But the difference is there are some things that are growing and cultivating in one that will come to pass or come to fruition at a certain point. And a scripture that comes to me is, don't get weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I can do this. I can do this with your help. And it made me think about a bow and arrow. Because with a bow and arrow, you pull it back, and then all of the pressure that you put on it from pulling it back gives it the juice or the flow to make it go further. So just think about that in your mind. And it brings me to a picture that I took of my daughter probably 3 or 4 years ago. We did for Valentine's Day. And she's got a cute little bow and arrow that I made for her. And she's pulling it back, and she's like pulling really hard. And she's like, what happens if I pull it back harder? I'm like, the harder it's pulled back, the further it will go. So I want to encourage you in this season. Don't be discouraged. Don't say, hey, this is too much for me, Lord. I can't do it. It's okay to say it, because like I said, honestly, I've been there. Don't get stuck in that place though. Say, Lord, this is too much for me because it's too much for me. But I know if I give it to you, you will take care of it. So don't get discouraged. Use that momentum and say, hey, the more I'm pulled back, the more I'm having to go through this season, the more pressure that's put on me, the more that's coming to me, it will be better for me in the long run, because all of those things that were provoked in me, all of those things that were stirred up will help me in this new season that I'm going into. And I'm just praising God, because I know that whatever's on the other side of this is nothing compared to what I'm going through. Oh yeah, that time that I was stressed, and that what I learned from that situation, or what I got from that thing, helped me to just flourish and to grow and to thrive in this new season that I am. So yes, we're pulled back and we're at our breaking point. We think that we cannot take anymore, but God is saying, hey, let this thing that you're going through help the trajectory that you're going in for your life. And so God's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. The pressure, the pull is for a reason. you will be in a better place on the other side of what you're going through. All right, everybody, that is the motivational word for the day. I thank you guys so much for watching. If this message has been a blessing to you, or you know somebody else that it may be a blessing to, please share this message. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can catch other messages just like this. You guys have such an awesome week, and I will check back with you next Monday for another motivational word. All right, bye-bye.